Hi, this is Shui with a review of a monstrosity of a sneaker released by Converse, collaboration with the Space Jam movie, which was terrible. This is called the Runstar Motion. And Runstar Motion, I think they had a similar pattern, similar design, platform kind of ugly shoe that was reminiscent of those ugly, expensive Balenciaga shoes and whatnot. But this is different in the sense that the EVA insole that's used is super plush. Can you see that? Can you see that? Oh my god, this is so soft. This is the kind of EVA material they used in cushioning for those 90s plush basketball shoes, whether it's Nike or Converse, especially Converse. Even though they came up with some gimmicky cushioning, the cushioning was because of the midsole that had this really soft EVA midsole. Even in the mid-2000s, when Dwayne Wade was wearing those Converse shoes, Converse Pro Leather, and those models, Converse Icons and whatnot, he was wearing those to the finals and winning MVPs for a good reason. Those shoes were super soft and plush and nice because of this quality EVA midsoles. They've got all these names, Cushlan, the Adidas has all these Bounce and all these midsoles, but whatever they name it, it's basically EVA foam with some degree of chemical mixture difference or the density. So this really low density foamy EVA midsole, actually, the classics never go out of style. This is something good. They feel as fluffy, if not fluffier than the lunar lawns you've experienced in the mid-2000s or 2010s. I wish they would use this in Converse basketball shoes instead of just taking Nike's Zoom Air and all that, reacting to their shoes, because just plain old, good old, low density, frothy, foamy EVA midsole is great cushioning. And lightweight as well. You see the thickness of this midsole? You would expect this to weigh a ton, but even with this other than this does not come all the way here. Of course, this is just to provide that glue and bond so that the shoe is more stable in terms of staying together with the upper and the midsole. But actually, the cushioning kind of starts here. It's sort of like maybe 2 inches. Yeah, it's not that high, but 5-6 centimeters, and once you step on them, it compresses very quickly, so they're even lower to the ground than that, but still much higher than most. Even the thickest Air Max shoes is lower to the ground than this one, but still it's not a high heel platform shoes. It's raised but not too bad. So even with this amount of foam, it weighs only about 570 grams for a size 9. That's pretty super lightweight, considering you could actually slice this into, you could give me 50% of foam you've got here and it will be max level foam cushioning. And considering that they have like 2 shoes in one on one side and it weighs like a normal heavy LeBron shoes, that's actually not too bad. And it does not feel as heavy because the weight is evenly distributed with the foam all around the shoe, not in one particular area. So for a size 9, it fits pretty roomy. So Converse, for some reason, at least in Korea, they only release in full sizes, 9, 10, 8. So I would say if you have a narrow foot, you can compromise half a size down. If you have if you're a wide footer, you can just go true to size and you will not have any problem with this. It's pretty roomy, and it runs somewhat long because there's a lot of space on the edges there. Speaking of space, this particular rubbery material, it's good because it provides a level of stability, but still, because it's so high off the ground, you have to be careful as to not get tipsy and hurt your ankle. So that's something you might want to keep in mind. So it's not for running or any kind of performance. It's just for walking around. Don't do any aggressive zigzag movements with this shoe. But unfortunately, this little part, the rubber, which comes all the way up here to provide that extra, lockdown, I suppose. The heel cup starts right over here, and you'll feel this little part, because the foam is so soft, kind of pushing inward. So put them on, see if this part pinches inside your heel or not. Depending on the shape of your foot, I suppose it will work work nicely with you or work against you. So make sure you check that. I think this is the only troublesome point that you might want to verify before you feel that this is a good fit for your foot. I love the upper design. It's kind of like it's canvas, but it's kind of coated, kind of starchy canvas material here. It's got that galaxy graphic there. It's the Looney Tune logo, like Chuck Taylor little patch there, and even the Converse logo here is in the Looney Tune font, and that tunesquad logo there. If I were to say this is just Space Jam, not Space Jam 2, then I would feel not so bad about having this shoe on my foot. The outsole is interesting. It's this aggressive blade patterns there, and it's very, very thick. So you can feel safe walking around, expecting some level of grip and traction as you walk around in this very highly elevated shoe. Interestingly, this stretches out quite well. So the base is very wide and stable. So you won't feel like you're going to sprain when you're stepping and making contact with the forefoot area. Just be careful when you're, on your heel landings when you're walking around, because if you get a little tipsy here, it could be pretty dangerous for you. So once again, I said the EVA midsole used here is incredible. And added to that, they put the CX foam insole. This is very comparable to the Tai Chi compound that's used in peak basketball shoes. The Tai Chi compound is a pretty revolutionary jelly-like material that's turned into foam, and it responds to you nicely whether you're kind of slowly seeping your weight on the shoe or quickly moving around and having pinpoint pressure points. So it works both for heel shock absorption and forefoot cradling comfort kind of chemical reaction or response there. So this is very similar to that. So I wish they would sell this insole separately because it's so incredible. The insole itself does a great job of providing an added layer of stepping comfort, cushioning, and something that forms nicely around your foot. But add that to this really incredible midsole, which feels like double layers of the softest, mushiest, cushiest foam midsole that you have out there in any performer out there. So with that, you even got this, so it feels very, very out of this world. Yeah, for standing around for a long period of time, it's good. But one thing you need to keep in mind, this is not a straight shoe. It's got a very elevated heel. The heel to toe drop is kind of like a roller coaster like of drop. It's not high heel, but I would say it's got quite a lot of elevation on the heel compared to the forefoot, because the forefoot is not as exaggeratedly elevated as the heel. That's one thing you might want to keep in mind. But a slightly elevated heel is better than having a heel that's sunken in, especially when you're walking around for a long time, considering the health and fitness of your foot. So all in all, this is a good shoe, especially if you've enjoyed slightly cushioned Converse casual shoes like the Barbados collaboration with the Converse, which had that removable EVA insole or midsole that worked nicely in tandem with the shoe. That this is a huge enhanced roided up version of that.